Hi, I'm Namita Peparaya and welcome to Yoganama. In today's class, we are going to do a practice that is going to help us with conditions like PCOS or polycystic ovaries. PCOS is a condition that is caused by stress, and that is why it is now also known as a psychosomatic disorder, which is why mindful practices like yoga can be really helpful in managing this condition. Yoga as a practice connects the breath to movement and overall has a harmonizing effect on the nervous system as well as our hormones. That is why across a variety of medical research, mindful yoga practices have been found very effective in PCOS, and that is what we are going to do in this class today. We are going to begin with a gentle breathing practice to just help us activate the breathing channels and find that connection between movement and our breath. From there, we move on to our main asana practice and finally into the closing sequence where we will do a pranayam practice. So let's get started. Meet me on the mat in a sitting position of your choice and we will begin. Alright, we're going to start the practice in a cross-legged simple seated posture like Sukhasana. If it's difficult for you to sit on the floor, please feel free to sit on the chair and do this practice with me. We are going to begin with circle of joy breathing, which is very relaxing and energizing, and I hope you will feel that once we finish the practice. So let's begin. If you would like, you can watch the first round or start with me already. So we are going to begin with our fingers interlocked, palms facing down. On an inhale, lift the hands all the way to your chest. You inhale through the nose and now exhaling through the mouth, push the palms away, rounding the spine. And then inhale, straighten the spine, flip the palms up, reach up, get really tall. And on an exhale, bring the hands down, exhaling through the mouth. Interlock the fingers, roll the shoulders back as you inhale. And exhaling through the mouth, bring the hands back to your lap in the starting position. We are going to do 3 more rounds starting now. So let's begin. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Inhale through the nose, rise up. Exhale, release. Inhale, interlock the fingers, roll the shoulders back. And exhale, release. Back to starting position. 2 more rounds to go. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, exhale, inhale, and exhale. 1 more. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, lift the palms up, get really tall. Exhale, release the hands down. And then inhale, roll back your shoulders, interlock the fingers, get a nice back bend. And then as you exhale, return back to the starting position. Let's continue some breath-based movements. On an inhale, take both the hands up. Exhale, bend to the side. Inhale, up. Exhale to the other side. Remember, coordinating the movement with the breath is our goal here. So don't worry about how low you can go, but continue exploring the range of motion that's available to you today. If you would like, you can keep bending the elbow to reach a level that's comfortable, even bringing it all the way to the floor as you exhale. Let's just do 1 more here. Exhale, one hand down. Inhale, back up. Exhale, the other hand down. And inhale, back up. Staying here, adding a twist to this breathing practice. On an exhale, twist to the right, bringing your left hand to your right knee. Right hand behind on the floor, helping you get a good twist. Then inhale, up. And exhale, twist to the other side. Hold for a couple of moments. Inhale. Exhale. You can continue to breathe out through the mouth. Inhale and exhale. One more time. Inhale. Exhale. Let's hold this here just a little bit longer. One more breath. Then inhale and exhale. Taking a couple of breaths right here. Then inhale, rise up, and exhale, gently bring the hands down from the side and release. From here, let's move into a tabletop position. So bring both hands on one side. Come into this nice tabletop posture with a 90-degree angle at the shoulders and the hips. Fingers nice and spread out. We are going to add cat-cow movement here. So inhale, roll the shoulders back, draw the navel to the floor. Exhale, push the ground away, take the chin to chest. Let's do 3 here. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. One more time. Inhale and exhale. And from here, extend the right foot out, lift the right leg up, and let's continue the similar movement. But on an exhale, you bring the knee to nose or as far as it's comfortable. Then inhale, reach back with the toes as if you want to touch something behind. Don't make it a back bend, make it a back reach as if you want to, like I said, touch something that's behind, maybe your wall. Let's begin. Let's do 5 of these. Exhale. Inhale, back. Exhale. Inhale, reach back for 2. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, back for 4. And last one. Exhale. Inhale, back and return. Let's do 5 on the other side. Extending the left leg, lifting it up, reaching back. Exhale. Inhale, 1. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, reach back for 3. Exhale. Inhale, back for 4. And last one. Exhale. Inhale, back for 5. And return to a neutral position. From here, I want you to turn to your left side, coming into Parshva Padmanasana, which is a slightly turned tabletop, and sit back as if you want to sit in child pose, but you are a little bit twisted to one side. And breathe here. You will feel an intense stretch on the right side of the torso, and that's what we are going for. To make it even more intense, you can come onto the fingertips of the right hand and maybe walk it forward a little bit to intensify that stretch and hold. Don't forget to breathe. Continue making your breathing more and more comfortable in the posture that you are holding. Trying to slow down your breath and trying to take deeper breaths as you stay here. From here, rise back up. This time turning to the other side, coming to the right, and then again sitting back in child pose. This variation coming onto the fingertips of the left hand, walking it forward if needed and holding it here. Breathing in and out with awareness. And the intention to deepen the breath and to find maximum expansion in our lungs with every inhalation. Let's take one more breath here. Inhale and exhale. And then slowly rise back up, return back to the tabletop position and sit back in Vajrasana if that's comfortable, or otherwise in any cross-legged posture or on a chair. We are going to do Kapalbhati, a very energizing, invigorating practice, but also very good for PCOS. And we are going to do 3 rounds of just 36 breaths each today. So we will have 108 breaths of Kapalbhati by the end of it. If you've never done this before, a quick update. You are going to forcefully exhale, and inhalation is passive. It happens on its own by the nature of the vacuum that's created in the body. So this is what it looks like. Remember, you are taking breaths, you're inhaling and exhaling. You do not do Kapalbhati in one single breath. All right, let's begin. If you would like, you can keep your eyes closed for this practice. Take a deep breath in and begin. And relax after the 36th breath. Inhale and exhale completely. Then take half a breath in and hold it in just for a count of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release and breathe normally. From the next round onwards, I would recommend you keep your eyes closed, because now you would know what the practice is going to be like. We are going to take 36 Kapalbhati breaths, then we take a normal breath in and out, and finally we take half a breath in and hold it in for a count of 5 only. It's very relaxing, so give it a try and keep your eyes closed. So let's begin. Take a deep breath in and start. Take a normal breath. Exhale it out. Take half a breath in. Hold it in for a count of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and breathe normally. 2 rounds done, 1 more round to go. Remember, when you do Kapalbhati, your whole body should not shake too much. Kind of isolate the movement to the area that's a couple of inches below the navel, also called our Kandhasthan. So let's begin round 3. Inhale and start. And then take a normal breath. After that, take half a breath in and hold it in as long as comfortable. Moment you get even the slight urge to breathe, breathe normally. Keep your breath retention very, very mindful, very light. Never force the breath. Take a couple more normal breaths in. And then slowly look down so you're not looking at any direct source of light. Cover your eyes so you minimize the amount of light that's going in. And then with a few gentle blinks while looking down, open your eyes. And then on an inhale, look up. And we are going to begin our main asana practice now. We are going to start with a prone position, in a prone position, which is going to be on our belly. One palm on top of the other, forehead on the top palm, which is the right hand for me. So back of the right hand is where my forehead is resting. What we are going to do is, we are first just going to take 3 breaths right here. Inhaling and exhaling, mentally preparing ourselves for back bends in this posture, which is cobra pose, locust pose, and even the bow pose. So set the intention, visualize yourself doing all three postures, aiming to gain strength, aiming to gain vitality with the practice. From here, bring both your hands on either side of the chest. On an inhale, lift up slightly, maybe 10-15 degrees off the ground. Your intention is as if you're reaching forward with your head to whatever is in front of you. You're not going into a very deep back bend. So lift up as much as you can without using your hands. Then bring the hands down and lift up only 10-20% more, constantly trying to reach forward and pressing the backs of the feet into the floor if comfortable. Maybe even keeping your heels together. Let's be here for 5 more. 4, 3, 2, 1, and then slowly release. Come back to neutral. Take a breath. We are going to come back to this time lifting up a little higher. So roll the shoulders back. Inhale, lift up, maintaining that back extension, which is you're trying to reach up and not back like that. Let's hold this here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then slowly release, come back down. Take a breather here to come into this for the 3rd time, maybe lifting up just a little bit higher if comfortable or at the same level as before. So roll the shoulders back, lift up for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, and slowly release. Come back down and relax. Now take your hands underneath the hips to support the hip bone here. We are going to lift our right leg and then left leg off the floor like this. So on an inhale, lift and down, and then on the other side, inhale and down. Let's do 5 rounds like this, starting now. Inhale, exhale, left leg, lift and down. Round 2, lift, return, do the same on the other side and down. 3 more to go, lift, come back, other side, come back. 2 more, left leg, 1 more, on the right and then on the left and return. Now we are going to lift both the legs at the same time. Now when you're doing these postures, right, remember the intention should not be to lift up really high. The intention should be to reach back as if you want to touch something. That is when you're going to create space in your back and avoid any kind of compression or discomfort. So let's get into it. Inhale, lift, exhale down. 1, inhale, lift, exhale down. 2, with control, no momentum, no speed. Inhale, exhale. 3, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Let's just do 1 more here. Inhale and exhale, release. From here, release your hands to either side. Maybe shake your hips from side to side if you need to. We are going to put this together now. So we are going to lift the torso and the lower legs as well at the same time. So we are going to do a variation of Shalabhasana. You can keep your hands underneath the hips again. to help yourself stay protected and more comfortable in this posture. Let's begin. Inhale, exhale for 1. Inhale, exhale for 2. Inhale, exhale for 3. 2 more. Inhale, exhale for 4. Last one. Inhale and exhale for 5. And return. Release the hands again. Bring one palm on top of the other. This time the other palm on top. So the left one for me, and rest your forehead. Take 2 breaths here. Allowing yourself to relax again. And settling your breath in case it has become a little faster. From here, bend both the knees. We are going to go into bow pose. Grab hold of the ankles. These are energizing postures. They do create heat, but don't worry about it. We need that in this practice, and they're really effective for the reproductive system as well, especially for women. So with that motivation, let's go for it. Inhale, lift, holding it up here for a count of 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, and slowly release and return. We are going to do one more round of this, but take a break here just so you have the energy for the second round. So on that, take a nice deep breath in. As you take your hands behind, roll the shoulders back, and then inhale and lift. Holding it here for a count of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and slowly release. Bring your hands to the side of the chest. Rise up into Cobra. Exhale back into Downward Facing Dog. Now if this posture is a bit challenging for you, you know that you can bend the knees, lift the heels off the floor and hold this variation. If that is also uncomfortable, you can simply have a chair in front of you and lean forward on that chair, trying to make a downward facing dog shape with that prop. You will get the same benefits, so don't worry about it. Feel free to use a chair or feel free to bend the knees and lift the heels up. Let's hold this here for a count of 5. Inhaling and exhaling. 4. Pushing the ground away, trying to make a nice triangle shape with the body, lifting the hips to the sky. 3. 2. And 1. From here, bend the knees and come into child pose. Finding a strong connection with the breath. Enjoying that feeling of complete relaxation and security that this posture tends to bring in us. And from there, press your palms into the floor, push back to rise up into a seated posture. From here, moving into Dandasana, I want you to simply slide and bring the legs forward in front of you like this. We are going to move into a spinal twist. So bend the right knee, hug it towards your chest, take the right foot across the left knee and hug the right knee with the left hand. Always hug with the opposite hand when you want to move into a twist. Take your right hand behind, look over the shoulder and breathe. If and when this gets comfortable, you can always bring the shoulder and go into a deeper twist, but make sure you need to have a lot of mobility in your upper back to do this. So go for it only if it is comfortable, otherwise stay with the previous variation right here. Breathing, observing, making a mental note of the slight discomfort that we may face while breathing in a twist. That's normal, just do your best. Let's take 2 more breaths here. Inhale and exhale. And release. First look forward, then release the hand, then come back to Dandasana, and from there hug the left knee into the chest, take the foot across, hug the left knee with the right hand, always using the opposite hand to get a good twist. Left hand on the floor to protect the spine and helping us keep it upright. You want to up the level, go back and get the shoulder into the mix. Let's hold here. Inhaling and exhaling to the best of your capability. Make sure that your straight leg, your bottom leg, is active and the toes are pointing up towards the sky. That is not passive or inactive. Let's take 2 more breaths. Inhale and exhale. 1 more time. Inhale and exhale. From here, release, look forward first, then let go of the front hand, then the back hand, and bring your soles of the feet together to come into Baddha Konasana or the butterfly posture. What we are going to do is grab hold of the toes and simply do this winging action with the knees. Make sure that your knees are all right. If you have any pain or discomfort here, avoid this posture. Otherwise, go for it, just like this. External rotation of the knee such as this can be challenging for some of us. It can be because of our anatomy, could be because of what we do on a day-to-day basis or the kind of sports we practice. That's totally normal. Accept it, just don't force it. So do this if it's comfortable. Otherwise, you can sit in simple Sukhasana, do some deep breathing practice right here. And from here, we move into Cradle the Baby posture or Shishupalasana. So keep your left leg down, bring your right leg to the crook, right foot to the crook of your left arm like this, and just swing it side to side as if you're holding a tiny baby or anything else that you like. So let's be here for a couple of movements. Just let the hip release. Releasing the hip is very important before we move into any kind of hip stretching postures. So this is a good way to do that. Just make sure you always practice moderation and don't push yourself to a point that it is painful. We are going to switch the leg now, so return the leg back and let's do the same with the opposite leg and swing it side to side. This is actually something that feels good generally, but with the hips, the trouble is that if you have any kind of problem in the hip, it can go into the knee joint. So these are 2 areas we want to avoid creating any kind of discomfort. So go for it if it's comfortable. Let's be here for 5 more. Let's keep doing this. 4, 3, 2, 1 and return. Now coming into Agni Stambhasana, which is your fire log pose, come into this Sukhasana variation where instead of your legs being back like that, they are parallel to each other. The shins are parallel to each other and parallel to the edge of the mat as well. From here, bring your hands forward. If and only if it's comfortable, start coming into a forward bend. So you can choose any level that's comfortable for you. You can even be here. But if it's accessible, go all the way down and hold this posture here, staying connected with your breath. If you feel any kind of discomfort in your knee, you can always support the knee by placing a block or a pillow under the knees right here, which is going to give you good support. Otherwise, we are going to be here for a good 5 breaths, starting now. As I was saying in the beginning of the class, that PCOS is now known to be a psychosomatic disorder. It is connected to the amount of stress and anxiety that we have in our lives. And for stress, particularly forward bending in yoga has a very calming effect. It helps with anxiety, it helps with tension, it helps calm the body, calm the mind. That is why we are including these postures in the practice. From an energy perspective, these postures work on the second chakra, which is Swadhisthana chakra, and that is why we are also including them in our practice today, because that's the chakra that's responsible for our reproductive system as well. So whether we look at modern medical science or ancient yogic beliefs, this practice helps us cover the requirements of both. Then slowly press yourself off the ground, come into a neutral position first, and then switch legs. This time bringing the other leg forward and making our way back down to a level that's comfortable. Remember, this is another option. Finding 2 blocks and holding that is another option. Doing this on a chair with just one leg on the other knee, which is your half pigeon, is another option. So let's get into it. You can even stack one fist above the other and rest like this if you don't have a block, or go for the full variation. So we were talking about PCOS, and a message that I want to leave you with is that it is both mental fitness and physical fitness that is required to help manage conditions such as polycystic ovaries. And yoga is very effective for both, but yoga is particularly more powerful when it comes to our mental health. That is why a complete strategy which involves exercise, which involves yoga and your diet, all 3 are going to be important in managing this condition. Let's take one more breath here. Inhale and exhale completely. From here, slowly rise up. Come to a straight upright posture, and then come into any Sukhasana variation that you are comfortable with. And let's go back to the practice with which we started, which is we inhale, take the hands up, and as you exhale, bend to the right side. This time we hold it, unlike the dynamic movement we did in the beginning. Remember, keeping the elbow bent is just an option, it's not necessary. As you make your way down and feel greater stretch in the side body, know that your left hip should stay on the ground. That's what's important. It should not lift up like this. So keeping that on the ground, as long as that's happening and you're feeling something here, we are good to go. And let's hold. Feeling that nice stretch in the side body while maintaining an upright posture with the chest, not letting it sink towards the floor, maintaining your drishti up towards the sky to help you set the alignment and the posture right. Keep checking in with the neck. Don't drop it like this. Lift it up. Keep it in line with the spine. And release. Come back. Inhale and exhale to the left side, and let's hold that here. If your neck gets tired, you can always look down consciously. Just don't let this happen. Hold up and look up as long as comfortable, and then take a variation if needed. Keep breathing, keep holding. Inhale and up. We are going to do the same side bend with a little variation now. Take your right hand to the left knee, so that gives you that support and leverage, and then bend to the left side now. Feeling a stretch in the shoulders. Finding that intention to hold yourself up with stability without letting this knee lift off. So you're constantly pressing that knee down, pressing the right shoulder back so this doesn't happen, and then against that you're holding this side bend. Looking up and breathing. Let's take 2 more breaths here. Inhale and exhale. One more time. Inhale and exhale. Release. Let's do this on the other side. Take the right hand up, left hand on the opposite knee, and we hold this side bend here. We are going to be here for at least 5 breaths, so hold to a level that you can maintain for that long. All of these movements are actually going to help us in our pranayam practice because they help open the torso, the chest and the shoulders, which will help you breathe better when we move into that section of our practice. Side bending in particular is very relaxing for the body. It's very relaxing for Pitta dosha, which in Ayurveda belongs to the fire element and is known to cause a lot of stress and anxiety. So let's hold that on that note for 2 more breaths. Inhale and exhale. One more time. Inhale and exhale and release. Return, and we will move into a lying down position for bridge pose or Setu Bandhasan. Again, a very good posture for so many different reasons, and definitely for the intention of the practice today. What we are going to do is keep our legs at such a distance that our fingertips can brush against the heels. Make sure knees are directly above the ankles. They shouldn't fall out or in during the practice. On an inhale, curl your pelvic floor in and peel your spine off the floor, lifting up to a level that's comfortable and holding it there. Take a breath here. Make sure knees are not falling out. Keep the knees directly above the ankles. And if this is comfortable, roll the shoulders back, interlock the fingers, lift up higher and hold. Pressing the heels into the floor. Don't worry about how high you can lift. Worry about maintaining the posture with equanimity, with your breath awareness still strong. And breathe for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And slowly release the interlock. Bring the hips back down on the floor. Hug the right knee into the chest. Straighten the left leg. If you have any kind of knee discomfort, grab hold of the right leg from behind the knee across your hamstring and hold this here. For a count of 5, we will exhale and lift our knee, and so that our knee and nose are in contact, or that's the intention. Even if you are here, that's fine. Just work with this intention and hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release. And the other side. Bring the left knee into the chest. Straighten the right leg. Keep it active. And for a count of 5, let's lift for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and slowly release. Return back. Let's do one more time, this time without lifting the head. And let's hold it here for a count of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and switch, bringing the other knee in, holding it here without lifting our head for 5. Keep pressing the knee into the chest. 4, 3, 2, 1, and then release. Do a little rocking and rolling like this, just trying to bring yourself back up and down, almost like your spine is a wheel, and like when we were kids we would roll the wheel. We are trying to roll the body. You can even curl yourself up into a ball. Make it fun, make it exciting. Don't be too serious with the practice. And with that thought behind, let's just do one more, and then come into a sitting position all the way up. And that should be rejuvenating for your spine and your mind. We are going to now do a quick pranayam practice. So let's begin. We are going to do Nadi Shuddhi. So close your eyes and first just take a few moments to settle the breath. Take your awareness entirely to your lungs. Visualize them expanding with every breath like two balloons, only limited by the rib cage. As they expand, they push against the rib cage. They also press the diaphragm down, which makes your belly expand. So because you breathe in and take more air in, it takes up space in your body, pushing the rib cage to the front, to the side, and your diaphragm down, which makes your belly rise. Watch that process, observe that process with your mind's eye. Simply using your awareness. To find that connection with the breath, with the body. And from here, let's practice Anulom Vilom or Nadi Shuddhi variation. We will bring our hands in Nasika Mudra, which is like this. So right hand, I'm going to block the right nostril with the right thumb. Exhale through the left. And to begin the practice, we inhale left, block both nostrils, open the right, and exhale through the right. Then inhale right, block both the nostrils, then open the left and exhale. So we are breathing in and out from alternate nostrils. We are using the right thumb and the right ring finger to manipulate or manage this movement by alternating which nostril is open. So let's begin. Take a comfortable posture. Block the right nostril, exhale from the left, empty it out, and then inhale left. Exhale right. Inhale right and exhale left. Inhale left, exhale right, inhale right, exhale left, inhale left, exhale right, inhale right, exhale left. Inhale left, exhale right, inhale right, exhale left, and like this continue on your own at your own pace till I tell you to stop. Next time that you exhale from the left nostril, you can stop the practice, relax your hand, finish your one round, which will end as you exhale from the left. And then, keeping your eyes closed, lie down on the mat in Shavasana, intuitively finding your position on the mat, preferably without opening your eyes. Palms should be facing up, slightly away from the body. Same thing with the legs, slightly apart, maybe touching the outer edges of the mat. And let your body completely sink into the floor. Check in with your forehead, your eyes, neck and shoulders, and release and relax these areas if you're holding any tension there unconsciously. From here, move into a deep Shavasana practice. I would highly recommend you take at least 5 minutes, 5 complete minutes to be fully relaxed in this posture. And then whenever you feel ready, you can come out of it and maybe sit in meditation for the next 5 to 15 minutes. I'm going to leave you to your practice now. Thank you so much for joining me today.